Right, so you're welcome. This is Sports Ultras right here on 3FM 92.7 every Sunday morning at 6 p.m. When you hear this sound, you know that Sports Ultras is on your radio. Well, this show is brought to you by Betway, and Betway says Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays will never be the same with Betway. I'll get cash rewards, free bets, free spins, and more with deposits on Top Up Tuesday. Log in on Fridays for a chance to get free bets, free spins, and more. And every Saturday, get boosted odds across the most popular bet types on the weekend's big fixture. Only on betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Not for persons under 18. Betway says get way more. Also, another packed show for you. This is Sports Ultras right here on 3FM 92.7. And you know, every Sunday we bring you everything that has happened in the week. We try to culminate your week of sports headlines and highlights for you on the show. And the major one, though, is that they may think we've forgotten, but we haven't. 4-0. The Black Stars were beaten by the United States of America by 4-0. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Ghana Premier League. Asante Kotoko leaving it to the death and beating Nations FC by 2-1. And then the Premier League return, we'll be getting into it. Arsenal drawing against Chelsea, and then Manchester United winning at Sheffield United, and also Mohamed Kudus getting in there, but his side could not win. 4-1 in there for them. There's also a possible return of the UEFA Champions League. We'll be talking about that as well. And there's also news on the budget for the Africa Cup of Nations. I'm sure you're really, really interested in that. There's also African Super League. And then, like I mentioned, there's Premier League and all others. And also today, the debate is actually back because we are debating on Ballon d'Or. Should it go to Haaland or should it go to Messi? I know Reku will say Messi because he can't think of why Haaland should be a Ballon d'Or winner. I actually agree though. If you see the football Haaland plays, why should Haaland be Ballon d'Or winner? But we'll be getting into that as well on the tail end of the show. Predictors also will also come later on the show as well. We'll check out the predictions of every panelist on the show and how they did over the 1 week that we went away. So my panelists are seated. Let's the show begin pretty shortly. But at 6:30 p.m., I'm opening the phone lines for you. Last week, I enjoyed the conversation on the phone lines. And so this week, I'm opening it again at 6:30. So please don't start calling now. At 6:30, I'll open the phone lines and then you can call in and give us all your thoughts and everything, particularly about the Black Stars. And so let the show begin. My panelists are already seated in the studio. Aniela Alote is joining us again after last week's absence. She had a meniscus injury, and so she was out for 1 week, and now she's back. And then Joe Bote is also here. Ore Kwampofu is here as well, and Bill Eshen. These two guys are just back from a vacation, and they're looking really fresh. But we'll be talking about the vacation a bit later. But guys and lady, you're welcome to the studio.
On Instagram, saw Bill swimming, taking a dive in the water. Like, what's going on here, Bill? But yeah, you could also add that I also, tore my ACL a bit, so it was.
How can you have meniscus?
And I also tore my ACL. I'm telling you that I also tore my ACL.
You need 4 months.
I also tore my ACL.
4 months out.
No, Oreku is well trained in these type of things, so he just gave me the remedy. It was a quick comeback for me. My enemies nearly prevailed yesterday, y'all. Nearly.
Oh no, your coach is not serious. Your coach is not serious, but we'll get into that. Joe, you're welcome.
Bro, thank you.
How are you feeling?
I feel great. No, actually, I do not feel great. I wish Chelsea had beaten Arsenal yesterday. That way, Aniela would not have been here. She would have prolonged the recovery process.
Riku, you're welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday, when Jackson came on, nothing happened.
Oh,
we don't know.
I was a bit disappointed, but it's not so bad. This is a Chelsea side that just 2-3 weeks ago everyone had given up on the team, and it looked as if it was going to be a very long season. But I think things have turned around. Since then, we've won 3 games and picked up a point against Arsenal at home, which in itself is not so bad.
Yeah.
And so I think it still provides that foundation for the team to continue learning, to continue growing.
Yep.
And so, I mean, I'm not too disappointed. Although, if you look at it, you'd have wished that they picked up all 3 points. But 1 point is not so bad.
But your team was good for about 75 minutes, and that's why it's heartbreaking that everything imploded just about 15 minutes to the end of the game.
Yeah, but there's also
They are not
part
good.
of there's
Yeah,
also
they are
part
not
of
good.
me that.
But they were very
They are
good.
not good.
They were very good.
They are
in
not
the game.
good. They are good for 75 minutes, and thereafter they are not good.
There's also a part of me that says that maybe this was it was good that happened, because if you were to beat Arsenal 4 games you've won now, all of a sudden there's that temptation to think that Chelsea are back. I think there was that reminder that there's still a lot of work to be done with the team, within the team, and so you still get that reminder plus 1 point. So it's good that we know that the team is still not up there.
Yep.
And we still have a lot of things to learn, a lot of things to improve on. And so I think that's what the result teaches us in the end.
Okay, Bill, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're feeling fresh, eh?
Oh yeah, feeling fresh.
Swimming is a great
Bill
great.
Phelps.
Oh yeah. It's good. It's very good. I mean, after all the emotional trauma I had to go through on Saturday with Arsenal Chelsea.
You needed a pool.
Oh, Charlie.
That's good.
Raya, he's on front watch.
Honestly.
Yeah. So
Front watch.
So
But that's
when,
an interesting-
on the debate. I think we had that debate last month.
You should be
When-
very careful.
When Kelvin said Ramsdale needed to be in post, the two of you, the two,
But
you,
it's not like I
Bill and
discounted
Aniela,
it completely.
you were saying that
now we are saying
Raya
something
was
else.
Raya
Now we
was-
are saying
Raya
something
front
else.
watch.
Now we are
Yes,
saying something
yes.
else.
Front
You should
watch.
do it so I can get back. You should get back.
Ramsdale, we need you.
Ramsdale, we beg. Ramsdale, we beg. Ramsdale, we beg. Ramsdale, we
You see,
beg.
you guys are too stubborn, and this is one thing that I have decided to always speak to these coaches ever since they started ball playing and goalkeeper. And Charlie, the goalkeepers are running away from their core responsibility.
Thank you.
Stay in the post, use your hands, and save the ball.
Yeah.
Don't be silly and try to be Zabi Alonso.
Sanchez.
Yes, Robert Sanchez. And you see, they are making the goalkeeper so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Maybe Raya was doing it at Brentford where the pressure is less. But at Arsenal, in a game against Chelsea, you don't give yourself away. And you saw how Chelsea took advantage of the weak point in Arsenal's team. Everyone has realized that he's press trigger. Just give him that pressure and he's going to release the ball away. Thankfully, he saved one which could have nearly ended Arsenal's day yesterday. But this is the message. You cannot drop shot stoppers for ball playing goalkeepers. If you want them to play, put them in the DM role so they play for you.
Thank you very much. We are done. We are done with the Arsenal conversation.
I wasn't here last week. Let me just say it.
What is it?
All I want to say to that Oreku over there, you Mudrik, you know they score anything. Right now you come score goal. My whole neck as I even just tell. I don't feel watching.
No, but you see, I always say that football is. I don't know. Whoever writes the script for football is a great script writer.
It's Oreku. It's Oreku that
I
writes
tell
the
you,
script.
See, when last season, let me give you an example. Last season, United and Liverpool went in for Cody Gakpo. Gakpo never scored. In the 7-0, Gakpo scored the first goal. You understand? So going into this game, I knew that Mudryk could score.
Score a simple goal. Did you see the angle? Why?
But your keeper is not good, right? If your keeper is not good, right?
Ramsey will be back. Ramsey will be back. Come back.
The thing about that goal is that Mudryk, me and you, that's all kind of crap.
Oh,
You have to tell the truth.
No, but you know that yesterday,
Yeah,
they actually zoomed in on his face and he was crossing.
Yeah.
He was actually crossing.
He was looking at Stelly. He said,
Stelly,
he's a
yeah.
goalkeeper trainer, say you should try and chip. Come on, Mudryk!
Maybe these things Apacosta take claiming it.
My guy.
Anyway, the show is just about to begin, and let's start with the Black Stars. Joe.
Hey!
Joe, I'm going to start with you because last week you were the one making the pitch excuse for Chris Hughton. So I'm starting with you.
Pro Houghton.
Today, was it in the 4-0? What happened?
So I think I made this point last week. First off, with the level of quality, but I think there's no excuse to keep mentioning level of quality when you know you can't even do anything with a ball in your hands. Now, I look at the game against USA, and the first thing I see is there's something missing within the technical team. that I think they are not connecting the dots with. And you look at the first half, and it's a running joke that everyone says every game that Chris Hughton has coached for Ghana, the first half looks abysmal. So you look at this game and you say, what can you take away from the first half? Look at the first 15 minutes, first 20 minutes, and then we're already 2-0 down. 30 minutes is 3-0, if I'm right. Then we are going into 4-0. And it's symbolic because you have fans staying up to watch the game. Even before the game, fans go into the stadium so excited. And as a halftime, speaking to someone at the game, they left the pitch. I mean, they left the stadium. Fans were leaving the stadium at halftime.
Let me give you let me ask a question here. Now, if you're a player, I mean, if you're USA, you've played first half 4-0. You know that this team is so bad. I can come into the second half and take my foot off the pedal a bit. Is it an issue of the Black Stars being better in the second half, or it was just an issue of the United States just saying that 4-0 to the good, we're good?
If you look at the second half, it was almost the same thing. It was a replica of the first half. The only thing that changed was probably the USA had made changes that they felt these players also deserved some game time. That is all I think. Yeah. But I did not see anything convincing enough to say the second. Look, I'd even say the truth. After 15 minutes in the second half, I got up to go iron for work. Like, I didn't bother watching because I didn't see where the spark was going to come from. Yeah. And I looked at the bench. I see the players that are there, and I'm not encouraged. Yeah. So what's the point? I might as
he has to iron 2 weeks in advance to stop someone.
But as y'all asked, I think the second half was nothing to write home about. It's not like we changed anything. Maybe we had 2 shots. Maybe that's the only thing we'll say from that. But Charlie, it was very, very disgusting to watch.
No, but Joe, I must say I like your optimism for the Black Stars, because I slept. I mean, I slept.
I mean, what's my job?
No, I mean, it's my job too, but I slept because I knew that it wasn't going to get better. But I know you get to where I am now. You get there very soon. I mean, after this AFCON and a few more games, you'll be here. So don't worry. You're welcome. You're welcome to this side where we don't think the Black Stars is going to do anything. You'll be here soon. Anela, what are your thoughts? 4-0.
You remember that right before we went into these friendlies, I was the one that was optimistic. Everybody was hoping for a draw here and there or a loss. I was optimistic that we'll win both games. But right now, I don't want to talk much. We are not good, Charlie. Next.
Next to what?
Next, as in Oreku, you can take that. They are not good, Charlie. Because if I were to rate the players on that day, come on, nobody will get more than 4. Nobody. I don't know. It's like, are we going in for goalless streak? Let's see how many games we can go without scoring a goal. What's up?
Without creating a chance. Yeah.
Let me even make this in a different light. The first game against Mexico, we played a 5-back. Yeah. And remember, I spoke about formations, thinking Chris was going to work on defense. Yeah. And you come into this game and you play 4-back, and it shows that, Charlie, it's even worse. Yeah. And you look at the players that you are trying to experiment in that role. Nicolas Opoku, once again, disastrous. And you bring in a debutant who's trying to find his way into the team. Obviously, there's no way he's going to achieve anything. And so it's horrible looking at the defense. You come into midfield thinking you can see anything super from Thomas Partey. And unfortunately,
is nothing there. Anyhow, this is a friendly. There's nothing at stake. If there's any time that you want to go all out and show what's up, that's your perfect time to do so. If you're experimenting with players, you're experimenting with formation, you're just trying to do whatever it is. Isn't it better than the 4-0? Is it not better than that? Yeah. Come on.
And this is the reason why you would hear people say some players in coach may not be attracted to even come and play when it's time to play on national team duty. When their clubs are probably trying to find a spot in their clubs. If we were another nation that had a streak where, okay, they are building. They've done well against Angola. They've gone against Central African Republic. They tried to do something. They go into Liberia. Okay, we are building something. The confidence is looking good. What are we doing next? Then you come Mexico 2-0. You come USA 4-0. If we were you, the next international window, will you be feeling comfortable to come and play? No. Knowing very well that fans will bash you in ways that you did not expect, and it wasn't even your fault.
It is your country. You have to represent.
Yeah, that's what they'll say.
No, but it is.
I agree, but sometimes you also have to consider the fact that these people, what goes through their minds, and this is one reason why I feel till now, if we do not have this psychologist in our team, it's a big problem.
They are professionals. So today, Kudus lost 4-1. I mean, this week alone, he's considered 8 goals.
Oh no, one. One
So what are you saying?
No, but I
How
feel-
many games? How many games does Semenyo win at Bournemouth to be complaining about Black Stars' bad form? What are you saying?
Charlie,
No, but yeah, honestly, I just think we need to have a plan. It just doesn't look
It
like
looks a
we're
mess.
playing with anything at stake. And
Yeah.
if that's the kind of performance we're going to take into the AFCON, come on.
Oh, the AFCON won't win.
Come on.
So I don't know.
No, it's not
I-
that win, but at least you have to go into something knowing that you're not just going to disappoint.
No, because
Exactly.
the thing is that look, we are what today. This was October, November, December, January. By the end of December, the FA will start telling you that they are going to win AFCON.
All this is Oreku's fault.
Yeah, but who's Oreku will be the last person to speak on this issue because I know he has a lot to say. Bill, 4-0.
Good. I mean, first off, Joe Mopoku putting a debutant in a game like this, it didn't feel right. And now he's at a position where it will be hard to call him again because he will be associated with this game. This is what people will remember him for. The 40 back pass that led to the goal, one of the goals, the shambolic defending, everything. It will be so difficult calling him. And these friendlies has now made people understand that the GFA and whoever decided to pick these friendlies, they didn't think through it. Because we have AFCON, we have World Cup qualifiers. These are against African teams. What in God's name did US and Mexico come and do inside this? Why? And it's not like USA and Mexico are at Ghana's level. If it was 2010, fine. You could make a case and say, yeah, Ghana can play against them. But this is 2023. Ghana are about 61st on the FIFA rankings. Ghana is shambolic. If you are going to set up friendlies against teams like Liberia, like you did the last time, like a Mauritius, like a Mauritania, where Ghana has a chance to beat them, and at least the team can have some form of confidence going into the World Cup qualifiers, going into the AFCON. Now, it has totally destroyed momentum. How are they going to bounce back from this? There's a World Cup qualifiers coming up. Even if the team you are going to face isn't good.
Oh, they are good. Comoros, they are good.
Jesus.
I don't understand, Bill, because if that wasn't the right time to play Opoku, then when is the right time to play him? Yeah, no, so when should we try him out? In a big game when we are rather unsure?
Yeah, that's true.
But this is a
I
big
agree.
game.
I agree.
Is the US Ghana has history. It was big.
But
It was big. People saw it as a friendly, but US didn't see it as a friendly. They saw it as an
Everyone
opportunity
is
to lash
going
us.
for.
The coach that was coaching US, he was in the 2006 World Cup when Ghana beat US 2-1.
Yeah.
It was a sub.
Yeah.
So he had it in his mind.
Okay.
That's Charlie. This is time for the revenge.
They tweet they come to Baba, I will score them.
but should I blow your mind? The first game against Mexico, Nicolas Opoku attempted just one tackle in 90 minutes. He lost it, so 0%.
Wow.
In the second game against USA, he attempted no tackle. No tackles won.
Hey.
0%.
Even Harry Maguire tackles.
Hey, defender.
So that means in both games, just one tackle attempted,
Yeah.
none won. Just one tackle in how many minutes? 180 minutes.
That's terrible.
Salisu, please come back.
That's terrible. That's terrible. Anyway, Oreku, just give me a bite on the 4-0 and then we can go to the phone lines and start speaking to our listeners.
For me, I just think that the national team should be the dream of every player. If you look at other countries like Brazil, other countries in South America and even in Europe, players celebrate call-ups almost as much as goals. We see them posting artworks, videos of being called, and even when it's a big tournament like the World Cup, we actually get to see live reactions. I think the so-called ability to call to some level quality players now has become sort of a curse, something that was supposed to be a blessing. The fact that we had a decent pool to be able to pick players from. I say this because I think now you're looking at a team or a Black Star squad that picks itself. And that's never a good thing. That's never a good thing because, one, this is a team in transition, which means that we're still trying to find our identity. We're still trying to find out what works for us. The point is, if this was a friendly and it was an opportunity to try out other players, because you know that from now to February, where you need your national team quite a number of times, you need a big squad, a big pool that you can pick players in, because the truth is, in November, we play Comoros and Madagascar in the space of 3 days. These are matches that you need to win. Now, prior to the game against Comoros away, some of your players or most of your players will play some days before that. And so, technically, you cannot repeat the same 11 against Comoros against Madagascar. And if you fast forward to the AFCON next year, there is that possibility that, AFCONs in January means that you usually don't get everyone. No, you're not going to get all your best players. Even if you get them, you're not going to get them early. Some people will get injured. Some people will miss the tournament. And because it's a packed tournament, you'd have to rotate. The purpose of friendly games is that you want to have the balance, where in as much as you are giving your starting 11 the chance, you are also giving others the chance in case in future your starting 11 fails you. I think on those two fronts, we failed woefully from these two friendly games, because make me understand why you look at the FA's YouTube, the Jama session is even longer than the training session. You can take a look at it. The length of our Jama sessions is longer than the training videos that they post.
Yeah.
I don't know what goes on in training. I've been to training several times, and I've always wondered, at what point do these guys work on specifics? Because all I see is passing drills, stretching, and then 11v11 or some form of team A versus team B, and sometimes shooting drills, and then they close. I have never seen them work on any type of pattern, whether it's third man release, trying to work the ball wide, putting crosses, set pieces, nothing. And I'm saying this confidently because there's actually been a run-up to some matches where I've watched every training session and I didn't see any of these things. So even if in theory they are discussing these things, when exactly do they work on these patterns that we're supposed to see within games? And I think in the end, I might be right, because we just don't see anything in games. We just don't see the team attempt to play football, to create a chance. Because even if you take any proper club from Africa, even Mamelodi Sundowns, and put them against Mexico, you would see them attempt something.
Yeah.
That's
the Black Stars just didn't attempt anything. And this is a national team. And you see, people are taking this lightly. But you met Mexico in a friendly game. A game that had nothing on it. Nothing at stake. And you can't create a chance. What would happen if you meet them in the World Cup quarterfinals? This is Mexico, who are 12th.
Are you going to be there?
This is Mexico, who are 12th in the world. 12th. There was a time Ghana was 16th, 17th, 18th. 15 years ago. I don't know what the football leaders think of all of this. Whether they think it's still all jokes and smiles. But the whole point is that this giant tag that we have, if we think we can go to another AFCON and go and play around again, I think we have just one more thread hanging. Another bar tournament, and that's it for Ghana. Another bar tournament means that Ghana probably gets to top 13, top 14 Africa, in and around there. No one starts to respect the country, because you see, all the respect that Ghana was getting from was because of the individual names, not really because of team achievements, because Ghana hasn't won anything.
Yeah, facts.
It was the likes of Asamoah, Michael Essien, Stephen Appiah, Muntari, all of these sort of Galacticos that was making teams fear us. What happens when you don't have that anymore, coupled with the fact that you just don't win to? I'm looking at the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and if we have another bad AFCON, and that, bad AFCON being not going past the quarterfinal stage.
That's the next one.
Yeah, right in January.
Yeah, we won't get there. So
If we don't, that means automatically we won't qualify for the World Cup. Because nothing will change between there and then.
Yeah,
and this one is not a one-off playoff where you can meet Nigeria and do some. You have to beat teams and top a group.
Yes.
You actually need quality to win games away.
Yeah.
If we don't improve that, people keep on talking about time. What time?
Yeah.
If you feel this AFCON, you don't qualify for the next World Cup, you are doomed.
Yeah.
You are doomed. You won't be seeded in anything again. People just don't understand what it means to sink in national team football. Look, take a look at South Africa and things. Even take a look at Morocco, Senegal. When they fell, it took so many years. They had to go all the way back to their youth teams to start everything afresh. And maybe that's what needs to hit Ghana. That's what we need to fall so hard, because our leaders just don't seem to understand it. That you still have the courage to talk about winning AFCON.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
How do you see it?
Yeah. When they brought the World Cup, they said we'll win it.
How?
Yeah.
The pasta
With Otuado?
Yeah.
With the players that we had at that point?
Yeah.
What, I don't know what perception they have. Whether they say that just to get more money to pump into the team. But it is not healthy. Because at the end of the day,
It's
you keep
delulu.
on... Yeah, you chat, and you sort of pump the people up. They play and everyone sees that, Ghana are not even that good. Where the truth is, I think the World Cup, if you're looking at the level of the team and the actual expectation, which was we're not that good, I think we did decent.
Yeah.
I didn't even think we would get out of the group. I thought we'd be bottom. Because we're the worst ranked team
In the World
going
Cup.
into the World Cup.
Yeah.
How on earth do you think you would win a World Cup how? Football doesn't work that way. It doesn't. All the people that we've seen, the major upsets in tournament, look, it's not because they've shone like that too. Argentina winning the World Cup, it's surprising. But they actually had quality.
Yeah.
For you to do that, sort of upset, you need actual quality. And we don't have it. There needs to be a general acceptance. Everyone needs to accept it, that we are crap.
Yeah.
That's the first starting point.
Yeah.
Once we understand that, then we say that, okay, now we know we are crap. So what do we have to... But that for some reason, that actualization is not there.
It's not there.
It's not
We
there.
still think that we have that quality. And so there's that talk of, then it means that, give the boys time to do what?
Yeah.
Time to do what? How long does Chris Hughton be here? It's getting to what? 8 months, 9 months. And if you were to cover the names of the teams playing and you put a different jersey on them, you can't even tell that's your national team playing.
Yeah.
You can't. There's no
It's true.
cohesion. There's
Yeah.
no unity. There's no gel.
nothing.
No plan. Nothing.
But you know what all of this means for me. I mean, I think that we are heading back to the period from 98 to 2006. where-
Yeah, people think
Yeah.
magically won't go back there again.
Yeah, no, I think that's where that's where we are.
And
now.
I think this is, sometimes people talk about this, but if you look at football and the era that we are entering into, if your football is bad, your business is bad.
Yeah.
No organizations want to invest in you. And we've already seen it before the World Cup, see how we struggled for sponsorships.
Yeah.
And to some extent, many believe that even our biggest sponsorship was not something that we were even able to get on our own because we deserved it, but because someone had to actually speak from behind.
Yeah.
And that's bad for me, because if you are not that attractive
Yeah.
to a sponsor, there's no way when you're even going for tournaments and those things, how are you going to cater for yourself? How are you going to make promises? How are you going to keep those promises?
Joel, if
you keep dropping down the ladder.
Joel, if you had a company today, would you invest in the Black Stars?
Oh no, I've said it before. As for me, I've
And
said
you know,
it.
that's the thing.
I've said it before.
Just to wrap up,
Yeah.
I know people will say, yeah, you have Kudus, you have Fatal, Kamal, Dean,
No.
Inaki, all of the, and I have just one answer to that, one short sentence. England had Lampard, Gerrard,
Yeah.
Scholes,
Yeah.
Hargreaves.
Yeah.
Where did
Rooney.
that lead them?
Yeah. Exactly.
One or two players don't carry the team. It doesn't work that
Yeah.
way. You can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just doesn't
And I mean I've said it for quite some time. I mean, and it's just not good. I mean, it's really just not good. I think that I back Oreku when he says that there should be the acceptance that we are crap, and that's why I slept, because I agree that we are crap, and it's not going to work because we and USA have history, and so we are going to this game. Are you serious? That's the 4-0. But
But
now
none of us
Madagascar
predicted it.
and Comoros will also show you some things more.
Yeah.
They'll rattle you a bit, and then because Comoros they mean we know be today,
Charlie.
and they gave it to us at AFCON. They will catch us again, and it will be terrible. So I mean, I just hope that the duty bearers are listening to us, and then they are just trying to make sure that.
Yeah,
things
I don't
work.
think they are though.
I mean,
because we've been having these type of conversations over and over and over again, saying the same things. Nothing seems to give. Nobody seems to care.
The thing is that if they aren't, then it's bad for us. It's bad for everybody, and it's bad for them because, I mean, if Mr. Kretukeku is going to sit down and overlook two very poor AFCONs as head of the Football Association, then it's on him. Because I don't think that anybody who wants to be a Football Association president would want to see the Black Stars go out of the AFCON in the group stages. We went out with 1 point the last time. And now we are looking
Worst
at
in history.
Exactly. And now we are looking at another AFCON where we could potentially go out with 1 point. Because who are we going to beat? I mean, looking at the football we are playing now, and from now up until January, who are we going to beat at the AFCON? It's going to be extremely difficult. Join the conversation 055-924-2717 and 055-6910-154. Again, 055-9242-717 and 055-6910-154. Let's hear your thoughts. There's already a caller on the line. Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Bismarck, calling from 3Sports.
Bismarck, let it go.
Okay, so about the Black Stars. Last week I called and I told that this is our worst performance, and you were like, the AFCON. Yeah, fine, the AFCON. This is what I've noticed. Our problem is coaching. That's our problem. There's a reason why, if you go to the European countries and other parts, they call the coaches managers. Kudus is one of the most selfish players I've ever seen. He's good, though, but the guy is so selfish. And you, what's the name? Pre-Houston. You can't tell the guy that, no, don't play this way, do this, do this. You have to say, you hold on to the ball too much. And what kind of a manager are you? Party say we can't play, like nothing. When this guy was a coach, I remember during the COVID time, Ghana was playing one of the qualifiers, I think Startup or something. Those times, that the stadium was empty. So when someone talks, you can hear it. I could hear Sika Kono telling party, play. The guy was the coach was. I felt pity for the coach. You understand? The last World Cup, our last match against you guys, Seydou, Ali Seydou, he's a great guy. He has the strength and everything, like a Zongo boy. I like it. When we finished the match and we lost 2-0 to you guys, the guy was jubilating. Like, we've lost too, and the guy was happy that we've lost the game. Just because, was it like you guys not qualify? Yeah. He heard that you guys not qualify. So the guy was happy. This guy, Benjamin Ketia on City FM or something, yeah. He said he interviewed Salis and on phone or something. And Salis told him that the problem with the team is about mental something. Like, the whole players, they are not caring enough. It's like they are okay when they get to this level. They are okay when they get. And I blame the GFC for this. And I blame the GFC. What is the structure? What's the plan of the team? What are you doing? What are we building to it? It's just let's call up some players. Ashimero is a good player. We don't call Ashimero. Pedro Tepete is a good player. You don't call him. There's a guy at Genk right now, I don't know, Beidou or something. You don't call this players, and you call Ambrosius, and you call Chandler, you call this. What is the focus of our team? Where are we heading? Me, when I was watching the Mexico and US game, I knew we were nowhere. I was just laughing when I was. Well, I knew that, no. Look at how these guys were playing. Mexico.
Bismarck, I think you need to wrap it up now. I mean, thank you so much for calling us. Bismarck from Racecourse there, sharing his thoughts in that one. Hello.
Hello.
Sorry for keeping you on for a long time. Your name and where you calling from?
This is Kusami from
Kusami from where?
From Nima.
From Nima. Cool. Let's go.
Thank you very much. I think the problem is that we just don't have a coach. We don't have a manager. We don't know how to manage the players. You see, gone are the days when somebody will be collaborative and as last year, Brunei, I finished collaborative happened. This is what is happening because the system, is from from England, so we think he can do more than any other person. Give this thing to him, and he have no idea. I don't see the formation Christian is playing with the blaster, and we are just watching on. Destroying the blaster. And the DFA, president himself. Look at his attitude, his character, his demeanor. Look at the arrogance of this man. How do you have to go to help you? They talk, he will not listen. And the problem is the coach and the DFA president and his team. You have a problem. We don't need. Christian, tell me, what was his record before coming to play the blaster? What was his record? What was his achievement? Don't have any achievement. And we give this thing to him thinking that he can do better. I think we have to, sit back and think again. And God bless you for coming out and, telling the truth to those that were supposed to, listen. Have a blessed evening.
Cool. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. Hello. We lost you on the phone line there. Now 055-9242-717 and 055-6910-154. Call us and share your thoughts. There's still Sports Ultras right here on 3FM 92.7. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling us from?
Good evening.
Good evening. What your name and where you're calling us from? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, good evening. Where are you calling us from and your name?
I'm Ben. I'm calling from Manfi.
You're calling from Manfi?
Yeah, Manfi, Captain.
Manfi for one who today?
Oh, yeah, who you now want to?
Yes, you I am Manonko.
Okay. So I want to thank God that I didn't watch the two of the matches because the problem with the Black Stars is that they are pampered too much. Because any callers, they know they are the ones to be called. Because, but if we use the local players and they are performing, they will know that there is competition, so they will do well. They will do well with their performance, and then the students should also back up with the practice. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ben from Manfi there, and just another caller on the line as well. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. Your name and where you're calling us from?
My name is PY. I'm calling from North Carnation.
PY from North Carnation. Let it go.
Concerning the football or the Black Stars issue concerning the Black Stars, it is actually not even the Black Stars anymore. If you have studied the trend of our sports when it comes to athletics, in boxing, apart from the likes of Ikote, do you see any champion in Ghana again? And the same thing is happening in the football. If you look at the likes of Michael Essien, the Lykinsons, the Sules, after them, it looks as if the country is actually not concerned about what is happening. When it comes to everything, we are too much of calculation. Oh, if Comoros lose and we draw one, we'll get 1 point to do this. If Argentina lose, we can do. Ghana has always been, we will do this, get Yilebi small, add it to this, we do. So Ghana has always been on calculation. We don't plan. We have no plan. The nation is just going on the wrong way. We don't care about what's happening. And this is what is happening in the football. People are only interested about what they will put in their pocket. The money is the interest, not the marketing that we do for the country. The days of Azuma fighting and everybody wants to watch is over. People are interested in money. It is not about the country again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, PY from North Carnation there, sharing your thoughts in there. PY with some very strong words. There. And 055-9242-717, 055-69-10154. Hello.
Hello?
Good evening. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Okay, my name is Raul. I'm calling you from Dubai.
From Dubai. Let's go.
Yes. Okay. So, I've been following your program for a while now. And I have to say, talking about, sorry, I'm not from Ghana, I'm from Cameroon to be precise. So,
okay.
I've been watching the game. It's not only about Ghana, it's the entire African football. It's a shame. Entire African football is shambles. You watch the way they play. I keep asking myself, where is our football going to? Like this upcoming AFCON, I've not seen any team that's gonna make us proud in this tournament, like gonna expose our football outside the world. And with regards to what you're talking about, for me, forget the coach, the leader. These players need to take responsibilities. They are professionals. The way you cannot give 100% in your club, and then you come home to Africa, you give us 5% of your performance because you are scared to get injured or whatsoever. Then that's what is killing our African football. You see our players will go out in Europe, they are taking man of the match performances, playing well in their clubs. Then when they come to Africa, they cannot represent our country properly. It's annoying. Like when you watch the game, you keep asking yourself, is it this same player who is playing in Arsenal? Or is the same player who is playing in Barcelona or is playing in Europe? No. So these players need to take responsibilities. There's no coordination. Like for instance, I watched the Ghana game against Mexico because it was a late. From the midfield to the attack, there's nothing. There's no coordination play. How do you expect to have a shot on target if you don't have good midfielders to feed the attackers? So that's just my take. My take is these African players need to take responsibilities because they are professionals. They don't come home play for free. Our government pay them. Our taxpayers' money. We will pay them.
Yeah.
So if we are paying you to defend your country, then you have to give 100% performance. Thank you so much, guys.
Raul, just before you go though, you mentioned that you're from Cameroon, right?
Yes.
Okay. In the AFCON, your Cameroonian team is taking on Senegal. How do you feel about that?
You saw the friendly game we played against them already. So this one, well, we have a long time to prepare. You could even see the reaction from Sadio Mane when he picked Cameroon the draws. He says it all.
Yeah.
But I think we still have a long way to go. For now in Africa, no shot. Senegal is the best team in Africa. So it's like we are playing against the champions. It's going to be a mad-watching encounter, and I just pray that these players can perform at the highest level.
Raul, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us here on Sports Ultras. Here, they're from Raul from Dubai. You know that our show is like really global. Like we have people from Dubai and Shanghai and things calling us. Hello, you're welcome to Sports Ultras. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Please, my name is. I'm calling from Senyabreku.
Your name is?
Michael. I'm calling from Senyabreku.
Oh, Senyabreku is where my producer is from, Nanandeson. How's the place?
Oh, everything is good here.
Okay. Let's go, Michael.
I just want to share my ideas about Black Stars and what's going on in the football.
Please do it quickly for me.
Okay. It seems we just don't know where we are heading to because we don't have a good coach, and even the players, although we have quality players, but when they come together in Ghana here, they don't perform, and it's all about the coach because the coach doesn't know anything about Black Stars because he's not coming from this place, and coming from England to this place is different. Even the weather is different because even none of the players are playing the same team. Not even two players are playing the same team in Europe. They are all playing different teams in Europe. So how do you expect them to perform when they come together in Africa here or Ghana here? So please, let's just conduct ourselves here and then we do better things.
All right.
Thank you.
Michael, thank you so much for calling us. You heard that from Michael from Senyabreku. Let's take a break here on Sports Ultras. We're back shortly.
Tuesday Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays will never be the same with Betway. Get cash rewards, free bets, free spins, and more with deposits on Top Up Tuesdays. Log in on Fridays for a chance to get free bets, free spins, and more. And every Saturday, get boosted odds across the most popular bet types on the weekend's big fixture. Get way more at betway.com.gh. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get way more.
Right, so you're welcome back. This is the Sports Ultras right here on 3FM 92.7. Thank you so much for staying with us every Sunday evening to make some time with us and listening to our conversations here and all of that. Now, this show is brought to you by Betway. Betway says Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays will never be the same with Betway. Get cash rewards, free bets, free spins, and more with deposits on Top Up Tuesday. Now, log in also on Fridays for a chance to get free bets, free spins, and more. And every Saturday, get boosted odds across the most popular bet types on the weekend's big fixture. Only on betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Not for persons under 18. Betway, they said, get way more. And that's it here on the Sports Ultras. They are heavily sponsoring the show and making sure that every Sunday we are here to bring you Sports Ultras right here on 3FM 92.7. Thank you so much for listening. And also, everyone who called, thank you so much for doing that as well. We are closing the phone lines. We need to move on to other topics. The Black Stars chapter is done. Hopefully, the leaders are hearing us. Raul from Dubai said that it is not just with the Black Stars and it's generally with African football, and it's the reason why Senegal are just miles ahead of everybody. But we'll see how that goes in the coming weeks and the coming months as the Africa Cup of Nations is just upon us in Ivory Coast in January. We'll see how that goes. Now, mind you, though, one of the Black Stars' worst ever AFCON performance was in 1984, and that tournament was hosted in Ivory Coast. That was just 2 years after we were champions. The last time we won was in 1982, and then in 1984, we went to the Africa Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast where, the debacle of Boake happened. And we just went there and we were so poor. We left in the group, I think after the group stage, we just left the competition. But the subsequent AFCONs after that, in 1986, 1988, and 1990, the Black Stars could not qualify. And so they did not make their way to AFCON. 3 consecutive tournaments where the Black Stars could not make it. And then in 92, we represented and went to the final, got beaten by Ivory Coast in there. And so there's history with Ivory Coast. There's history of the AFCON tournaments being hosted in Ivory Coast. And so if this is a time to change things, it could potentially be that time. January 2024 will teach us or might teach us another lesson at the Africa Cup of Nations. Let's move on to some more right here on the show. Kelvin, let's talk about the African Super League. And Simba took on Ali, and it was the first game of the competition.
Well, Bill will give us the results, and then I'll roll.
Bill, just give us the results.
Yeah. So in the AFL, earlier today, TP Mazembe defeated Esperance Tunis by a goal to nil. Right. But before that, Simba
did they play in Lubumbashi?
Yeah.
No,
did they play at home?
No, the games are all being played in Tanzania.
Okay.
In Tanzania.
Okay.
Right. So in the first game between Simba and Ali, it was 2-2, and Mamelodi Sundowns defeated Petro by 2-0.
Okay.
So later today, Enyimba will be facing with that, and that will be an exciting one there.
Right.
But yeah, Mazembe also defeated Esperance Tunis by 1-0.
Amazing.
Well, I think it's always going to be a dominant performance for Esperance. I'm not too surprised. They've been relatively poor. From last season, you look at the CAF Champions League, the CAF Confederations Cup, they haven't really managed to pick up the pieces from their flaws about 4 years ago. And I expected it all to go for TP Mazembe, who have been stronger. They fell down last season trying to pick up the pieces in the Confederations Cup. It couldn't go so well for them. But this time around, making that move to this stage it really gives you an indication of how they want to be dominant. This is a maiden edition of this new product from CAF. So all the sides want to do very well. For Al Ahly, it didn't come as a surprise. I never expected Simba to cause any sort of havoc against them. They are the reigning CAF champions, that is the Champions League, and they've really had a very solid team. You look at some of the top guys when it comes to interclub football. you can find them in their team. They have Abdel Monem, that centre back for Egypt. They have Mohamed El Shenawi. They have Aliou Dieng, very excellent central defensive. They have Percy Tau. Look at all these players, and they managed to put some of the big names when it comes to the African continent, the likes of Mahmoud Karaba leading the attack. So it was always going to be difficult for Simba, and I think we've been enjoying some very good games. And I think in the spirit of the competition, just like Luxolo September made us know that they are looking at projecting the African game to generate a lot of funds to improve the other nations. If this is how it's going to go, I think it's going to get good. All they need to do is to just hammer it well so that attendance is improved, because the games may be played, but if the attendance is not pleasing, it makes the pictures and the overall objective of the entire tournament becomes a bit skewed towards just monetary essence. But the fans should enjoy the game. That is the reason why it's the Europeans, or do I say across the globe, more games are being added to the players who are complaining. But at the end of it, it's all about the consumers of the product. So I think it's a good start. We just hope that is going to meet its potential. Hopefully from tomorrow or next week, we'll get to see the nations, the clubs who have managed to progress, and then we see how the knockout stages will pan out.
Oriku, take a bite on the African Super League, and then we can move on to the Premier League.
I think it's tricky because I think that it's probably a step in the right direction if you're looking at the greater good, because the main opposition to a similar course in Europe has been the shadows that they do have. But in Africa, I don't think our teams play too much games. Even if you're looking at our CAF Champions League formats, it's pretty short. Just usually 2 groups, they go to quarterfinals. Yeah, it's not as strenuous as the UEFA Champions League, where they probably play in groups of 8 and they play in the round of 16. Some teams go through a long qualifying phase where they play about 3, 4, 6 games, depending on where you start. And so I think in Africa, basically, we don't even play enough games, because also some of our leagues don't even have 20 teams. Some have 14, some have 16, 18 and all that. And so that argument automatically goes away of the players being stressed and playing too many games. And then the second part is we've always struggled to get fans into our stadiums. But the truth is, maybe this could be the other way, where if Ahli are coming to Ghana, everyone would want to watch them. But if Mediama are playing maybe another side that are not as big as Ahli, people would not be that interested in terms of the neutrals. And so if Ahli is coming around, Sundowns is coming around, to whichever country it is, fans want to go and watch. And so there would be that constant interest. And there is that, little matter about the, not too little though, $4 million for the winner, which I think is really huge. It's similar to what Senegal got for the whole AFCON. I think 4.5. And so if you're getting 4 million for a tournament that starts at the quarterfinal stage, that should be easy pickings. And the long-term plan for CAF is that they want to generate their own funds and essentially help sustain the 54 member associations, and this money would be also given to all of them, but it would of course depend on how the participation was and which countries were in reach stage or where. But the whole idea is to see CAF become more independent and to be able to generate a lot more funds. I think this could be another way. I think it's innovative. It helps, gives us good games to watch. Personally, I feel watching football has got to a point where sometimes it becomes difficult, where there are too many games and you just want to watch the really good matches. Because in the Champions League, sometimes you don't even want to watch all the group games. But when it gets to like the round of 16, Bayern, Man City, you can't afford to miss those games. Exactly. So these are the games that people really want to watch. And I think it's a good enough initiative. And hopefully we start to see a Ghanaian side in there, because this is the creme de la creme. This is essentially the 8 biggest or best teams on the continent at the moment. And so that is the target now. It shouldn't be Kotoko, Haas, where we're seeing Kotoko fans vandalizing people's seats. And now there will be an argument, House of Folk fans will say they don't vandalize seats. That's their level right now. That's not the argument they should be over jersey, training ground. This is where they have to be.
Yeah.
This, in and amongst this. In fact, they should have been teams that CAF consults before they even start the African Football League. Because in terms of history, these guys are way up there and very experienced. So now they know what the marker is. And hopefully in the next 5 to 10 years, we'll see a Ghanaian side in there.
Hopefully we see a Ghanaian side in there. But I mentioned that we're going to go into the Premier League. But let's do the Ghana Premier League before we go. Kelvin, quickly, just take us through the Ghana Premier League and then we move on to the Premier League.
Okay.
I mean, Kotoko winning, Hearts drawing. I think that usually is what people want to hear. So,
So on Saturday, Accra had to draw their game. It wasn't the very best of results that they wanted, but they settled for a goalless draw. I was at the stadium to just catch a glimpse of, I think about 70 minutes, and Charlie, it was poor. It was poor. So today, Asante Kotoko 2, Nations FC 2, and then there was...
Wait, it ended 2-2?
Yeah, it ended 2-2.
Amazing.
Yes, Nations had a late penalty where Diarra managed to score, so it ended 2-2.
Okay.
At the Aliyu Muhammad Stadium, Karela United 0, Bofokwa 0. So Bofokwa still getting stronger with their away performance. Dreams FC defeated Mediama FC by 2-1 at the Theatre of Dreams, and Adriana defeated Great Olympics by 3-1. They actually came from behind, and this is the first time Olympics have lost this season, or even this is the first time they are losing or conceding a goal.
Okay.
And they conceded 3 times, but they Adriana managed to score 3-1. And Swatreman defeated Lagos City's 2-0. Manaf Umar getting his name on the score sheet again. He's doing something good. And Bechem United defeating Brecum Chelsea by 2-0. We all know that on Friday, Accra Lions, had to suffer a defeat at the hands of that is RTU at the Accra Sports Stadium.
All right, so that's it there with the Ghana Premier League. But I mean, if you've not heard, Accra Hearts of Oak's coach, obviously a very, very outspoken. He's very outspoken, very volatile. And yesterday he put out some words there. Kelvin, you listened to him.
Yeah.
What was what he said?
Well, I think he should accept his responsibilities and stop making it as a blame game for everyone. We all saw how difficult some teams were finding it to score, but coaches found a way to create non-center forwards to score for them. And we can take you from how Cesc Fabregas was used in that Spanish team to win them the World Cup. We've seen how Pep Guardiola decided to drop Sergio Aguero and use other players.
Is it Koopman we are talking about?
Yeah, Martinez Koopman.
The references you are mentioning, they are Pep Guardiola.
Yes, he went to the same training they had in Europe to get his coaching badge. And so if you want to tell us that you are here to get something better, this is your core responsibility, and you don't expect us to understand you that this is a national problem. Even in that same national problem, and Abednego Tete, who was rejected by Hartefuk, rejected by Ken Faisal, became the top scorer
of the league.
At BBN Gold Stars. Ask yourself why. Because the game plan that Michael Osei adopted suited him. Just move to the flanks, cross the ball, and then so he has the players. These were the same players scoring for him during the preseason, and he was commending Kashala and the rest. What changed? Is it because he's finding it very difficult to break down defenses in the league, unlike in the preseason when he had virtually less stronger defense to play against? And even recently in their friendly match, they won by 3 goals or 4 goals to nil before their game this weekend.
Friendly FC.
So yes, so why does he come in to blame the entire nation? Fine, we understand we are having difficulties in scoring. But why is he not getting the results? The other teams are scoring. Great Olympics scored for fun.
Yeah.
Ediana have scored for fun. Kotoko and then RTU have scored. Nations FC got 2 goals today.
Yeah.
Bechem United got 2 goals.
Yeah.
So he should accept the problem that he is not really teaching his team how to convert their chances or be very prudent in the final third of the pitch and stop blaming him. For me, I foresee it's going to be like the Zlatko Matic issue. He may not last before the Asante Kotoko game, which is just about two or 3 games away.
December.
Very good.
It's on the 8th
so
of
he
December.
should be very careful with what he's doing. And I think he's taking a posture that, yes, once the basics are wrong in here, you cannot blame him for it. But we've seen coaches who have inherited worse basics here in this country.
Yeah.
And they've managed to pick up the pieces.
Kenichi
Yashuashi.
Yeah.
We saw him. We even saw how even those times where football wasn't so scientific, Ralph Zumdek and his Middendorp managed to come into this country and get the very best out of these players.
Yep.
So I think the coach is terrible. He's poor.
Yeah.
Even under some of the coaches where you wouldn't rate them high, they are getting results in their clubs. So why is he not getting it? So I think I was at the stadium and I saw him. There were times he just sat down to watch it, and I was like, Charlie, this coach doesn't have any game plan. I think it's just like Milovan Raeva trying to come take some retirement money here or package and then go back. That's folks should rethink. If you have a technical director who is a Dutch and you have a coach who is a Dutch, and from those people we know that they score for fun or they play football for fun and then get results, goals for fun, and you are not getting your team to. It is better getting any other coach that wouldn't be rated so high and play like this rather than putting Martinus Koopman to come and give us sound bites. Well, we like the sound bites he's giving us, though, but Charlie, the fans will cry. Yesterday, after the game, fans were crying. In an economy like this, they don't even think about what they eat. They drive or they pick their car from wherever they are, whether it's from Adenta or Yarefo. They just come to the stadium. They pay gate fees, sit under the sun, try to edge this team on, and at the end of the day, they can't have anything to celebrate about. And it's so disappointing.
450 minutes. How's the scored one goal?
Yes, just one goal. 450 minutes. And you ask yourself, even shots on target is a problem.
I think yesterday in the first half, you couldn't even get shots on target.
It's a problem. So I think it's a technical problem the coach needs to resolve. Other than blaming the entire nation that we are, there are games we just saw games here.
Yeah.
Every single game had goals from Friday. It is only the Hearts-to-Folk game that did not record goals. And if you're a home team and you are not scoring, it should tell you something.
If you are creating chances and the players are missing, Anka will be able to cut him some slack.
But they are not creating anything.
I don't think that they are creating enough.
Creating anything.
And one team that was also going under the radar, I wish Aniela was here.
Yeah.
Mediama.
Yeah.
I said it at the beginning of the show. I mean, not at the beginning of the show, but like some weeks ago. The beginning of the season, that they need to refocus and they need to be aware. They need to set their priorities right. I don't blame them for choosing to travel to America during the season, going to play against DC United, making some cash, lovely experience.
Yeah.
But it's disruptive. Now you're looking at them bottom of the league. With the CAF Champions League yet to start, FA Cup yet to start. The season hasn't even. If they were to pick points easily, it should have been now, where they get some credit in the bank. It's only going to get tougher from here, where they'll start traveling across the continent. They need to prioritize all of these, and they'll come back with a congested schedule and all that. If they are struggling to win now, then when that starts, what happens? Because I mentioned that their squad has become thinner. There's reduced quality, and essentially, they should ensure that this qualification to Africa is advantageous in the long run, you look back and say, what did we really gain? Because if you end up not having a good season and it's far-fetched, but you get relegated, then what's the point of going to Africa when you're going to play in Division 1 next season?
Yeah.
They need to focus. This is the Ghana Premier League, the league that got you to Africa.
Yeah.
It should be your fundamental focus. They are losing too many points.
Yeah.
And I think they need to set up. And the most important thing is, even if you are going to prioritize Africa, you need a form at home. You cannot play anyhow you want in the league and then automatically think that when you go to Africa, things will be good. Footballers are humans. Things need to work. Confidence needs to be high. They need to be doing things right to ensure that they're in the right space. And so, I know we laugh about Mediama a lot, but they have to watch out. They need, because they can't even win at home again. And that was what did the trick for them in the league last time. So there needs to be some improvement.
Right. Thank you so much, Ore Kwampo, for that. Speaking about Mediama, and that brings to an end the conversation on the Ghana Premier League.
But let's condemn the acts from the Asante Kotoko fans today.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
And also the acts from the Adriana
fans. Fans. And also in Tamale, where Tanobo Fokwa had to be whisked away in the police bus for their bus to move a distance before they got into it.
So if you're watching us on Facebook, you can see the Nations FC incident where Kotoko fans broke seats and threw them onto the pitch, which is very, very uncalled for. I mean, it shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
This is almost a new stadium that was built
They've
just last
destroyed
year.
everything.
And that's terrible.
You cannot be uncivilized like this.
Yeah, that's terrible.
We all understand referees make mistakes, but whenever they make the mistake, you cannot tell the referee when an incident is a penalty or is a good call or is a bad call. After the game, we continue. We are struggling to have facilities in this country. Ask yourself, in recent times, Kotoko haven't been training at their own facility. They've been using the Pajo Stadium. So for you are not even having a very good training facility for yourself to use. How then do you go to a stadium like this and break seats? Almost all the seats are the stands where they were. And you cannot vouch for them. This is terrible, to say the least. We enjoy football. When you score, don't you think that certain decisions have gone your way? When Heart of Lions were denied a very clean goal in the first game of the season at the Barbara Sports Stadium, they did not fight. They did not break seats. So why then do you break seats? All because a penalty has been awarded in the late minute. It happens in football. It happens everywhere. Just today, I think I was watching the Spanish La Liga, and then late into the game, one of the players, I think one game, it ended 1-0. It was a late call, but the referee gave the penalty. So it's just preposterous to see these things, and shame on to all the Asante Kotoko fans and all other persons who were involved in ripping these seats apart at the Kwame Chase Sports Complex. This has been a very nice edifice, and I'm sure Bill was there during the FA Cup final. He saw how beautiful that facility was. It's hosted some national games for, I think, the black Princesses, yes, during the Wafu Under 20. They hosted the games there, the entire tournament. So how then do you go and then cost this sort of negative negligence, or do I say intentional, vandalism at the Kwame Chase Sports Complex? They should just be disappointed in themselves.
The games ended a while ago. But have you heard anything from the FA?
No.
And do you ask yourself why?
They can't speak.
No, have you asked yourself
They
why?
can't speak.
No. They've approved of violence.
So you cannot condemn this.
They beat a journalist.
Yes.
They've not said anything.
If they can go that far, why would they want to stop this? I mean, there's nothing they can say at this point.
They don't have the moral right.
But look at the number of seats.
The seats on
look at the seats. They've ripped apart the seats.
If by now we've not heard anything, then I don't know what to expect.
The way the stadium, when I went there during the MTN FA Cup final, I was impressed with the outlook of the stadium, the arrangement of the seats. They all looked so beautiful. And to see these seats being
that's incredibly terrible. I mean, Kumasi Asante Kotoko fans, it shouldn't happen. I mean, it really shouldn't happen. I mean,
for a team that is struggling to even raise money to buy the best players on the market, or even fund certain things, you go cost your club like this. If I was the club, the fans should just pay for it.
No, to be honest,
they should pay for it.
I think that sometimes these fans need to start bearing the brunt for some of the things that they do, because it's incredibly sad to see something like this, and also for someone like Dr. Kwame Chase to put up the Kwame Chase Sports Complex and for it to be vandalized this way, I don't think that it's a good thing to be done. But also to Ediana Stars fans, please, you can't always win in Doma. It's another thing that we need to address. Today there were reports from Accra Great Olympics that their goalkeeper was attacked, Benjamin Asari, and they had to change him for another goalkeeper to come in and all of that. I mean, if decisions do not go your way in Doma, you can't win every game in Doma. So please, the fans need to do better. It is 2023. We can't continue like this. If Ghana fans go to Ivory Coast in January and they are beaten up because of something, I don't think any of us will be happy about it. Why then are we beating ourselves in our stadiums over here? So it shouldn't be happening at all. So please, let's all just put a stop to it, and then the FA needs to come out and do something. There has to be something that is done to the people who perpetrate such acts for it to stop.
They have to start with Seidu.
Last season, we didn't see a lot of it. This season, it is coming back. It's creeping in slowly, and it might not be good at the end of the season. And it started in the US, and the FA president was right there. And so if nothing was done about it, then I'm wondering what will be done about something like this in the event of it happening in the Ghana Premier League, where you know, we are all complaining about. I mean, I'm sure Dr. Kwame is incensed at this moment about the level of damage that he's gotten there. Joel, you wanted to say something before we move on?
No, I think you hit it right there. Yeah. I mean, if it happened in US and we weren't able to see anything from the FA, I don't think they're going to say anything about this, because they know if they come out, it means that you condemn what happened in the US, but to you, this isn't right.
Yeah.
And what's the difference? You can't be doing the same thing in different lights. So please. But I also still think that they should come out and say something. I think they should address the clubs. They should try and make sure that they punish them. I know that's what they usually do. So you punish the clubs, let them feel it, and then the clubs also have to do something to their fans to let them know that you can't go to someone's home and mess up like this. Because if you do that, you put them in a difficult spot, and you don't even know. Because imagine this is gradually building for them as a team. Nations FC, they have this nice stadium coming up. It becomes bigger and bigger. They keep expanding. If you keep destroying it, how are they going to keep expanding and make something out of what they have?
Exactly. And I mean, it's terrible. But let's move on. Let's head into the Premier League. And let me just give you the results from this week. Everton took on Liverpool in the Merseyside derby. It ended 2-0. Liverpool always win the Merseyside derby, and that was what happened. They beat Everton by 2 goals to 0. I mean, it's incredibly lopsided. And Wolves also beat Bournemouth, and they beat them by 2 goals to 1. Brentford beat Burnley by 3 goals to 0. I will come to Burnley. Oriku, just start putting your thoughts together on Burnley. Because I will come to you. I want to know what's really wrong about this Burnley team. Man City beat Brighton by 2 goals to 1. Ansu Fati scoring Brighton's goal. Newcastle United back with some good form. They beat Crystal Palace by 4 goals to 0. Nottingham Forest 2-2 to Luton Town. And then 2-2 Arsenal took on Chelsea. And then 2-1 Manchester United winning at Bramall Lane against Sheffield United. And earlier today, Aston Villa also beating West Ham by 4 goals to 1. But Oriku, Burnley, what is happening?
I think they have a coach who has a way that he perceives football to be played, and you cannot blame him. He played for Guardiola, probably learnt a lot, went on to start his coaching journey in Belgium, where he was really amazing, took the step at Burnley, where everyone thought, well, that was a bit too soon. Then he dominated in the Championship. But what we've seen over the years is that although the Championship is a really tough league, there is a huge gap between the overall quality of that league compared to the tier above, which is the Premier League. And so if you, by any measure, assume that it's going to be similar in terms of the opposition that you saw in the Championship, then you're really mistaken. I think what makes the Championship really hard is not necessarily the quality, but the schedule. The fact that you have to play 46 games and you're playing every 2-3 days. And so usually it's teams that know how to manage their squads, know how to score even on bad days, that usually get promoted. But I think Burnley really smashed a number of records where, you know, they picked up 100 plus points, were scoring goals for fun, barely conceded. And for some reason, everyone assumed that, they will be fine in the Premier League. But this is the same situation where we've seen with teams like Norwich, where they dominate in the Championship, they come to the Premier League, and it's almost as if they're a shadow of themselves. I think it's something similar that we're seeing with Company and Burnley here, where first point, I think they could have strengthened a lot more in terms of quality. A lot of the players that they bought are very young guys, I think under 22, under 20, who have very little experience, although are very talented. And so already with that approach, you are sort of buying more time for yourself, because these are players who are not too well versed with playing football.
Just hold your horses for me, and let's take a break here on the Sports Ultras. We're back shortly.
Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays will never be the same with Betway. Get cash rewards, free bets, free spins, and more with deposits on Top Up Tuesdays. Log in on Fridays for a chance to get free bets, free spins, and more. And every Saturday, get boosted odds across the most popular bet types on the weekend's big fixture. Get way more at betway.com.gh. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get way more.
So yeah, welcome back. This is still Sports Ultras right here on 3FM 92.7. Now, Betway says Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays will never be the same with Betway. Get cash rewards, free bets, free spins, and more with deposits on Top Up Tuesday. And log in on Fridays for a chance to get free bets, free spins, and more. And every Saturday, get boosted odds across the most popular bet types on the weekend's big fixture. Only on betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana, not for persons under 18. Betway, get way more. Oreku, back to you.
Yes, I was saying that you look across that Burnley squad, very little experience. Maybe the likes of J. Rodriguez have been in the game for a while now, but you probably wouldn't be able to start him in Premier League games and expect a lot from him because his best days are behind him. But a lot of the key players are very young guys. And you look through the team, you're just not seeing any game changer. Where, for instance, Nottingham came last season, but they knew they had to up themselves in terms of the quality. And so they brought a number of players. Now they have the likes of Hudson-Odoi, they have Awoniyi, they have Elanga. They have a number of players who, at least for a mid-table side, you can call them game changers. Burnley just don't have that. And maybe this would be a difficult learn curve for them, but I don't see them surviving because they are sticking to the same principles that they were in the Championship, where they try to play out at the back, they try to play football and quote-unquote the right way and dominate games. But the thing is, nothing has changed between the Championship and now except the quality. And so they are just not able to do it often against these sides, and it's not to as much success as they were seeing. And so as a result, they are not scoring as much, they are not creating as much, they are not possessing as much, and essentially they're not picking up enough points. The good thing for them is that, unlike last season, I anticipate the relegation battle to be between 5 teams. I think the table splits right from the 5th bottom team, where you have a bottom 5 of Sheffield, Bournemouth, and then there's Burnley. And I think Everton, Luton, would be in there. And so if they just have to be better than either Everton or Luton or Bournemouth, Sheffield, I think they'll go. And so they have that luxury, knowing that they would have teams in and around them, because if you look at how badly they've played, still they're even within a couple of wins or just one win away from climbing out of that relegation zone. And so there's still time for them, but things have to change. They probably have to be a lot more pragmatic. They need to understand that there is football without the ball. They need to learn to suffer without the ball. They need to learn to be more compact, especially on away games, and try to pick up points here and there. And at the end, maybe this season 35 points could be the trick in terms of staying in the Premier League.
We'll see how that goes for them. But the Premier League has Man City on top with 21 points. Arsenal also on 21 points. Arsenal have not lost this season. They have 6 wins, 3 draws, and no losses to their name. Liverpool have lost once. They've won 6 times. They've drawn twice. And they're on 20 points in 3rd place. Spurs have also not lost this season. They've played 8. They've won 6, drawn 2, and on 20 points in there. Now, Aston Villa also on 19 points in 5th place. Newcastle United on 16 points. Brighton on 16 points in 7th place. 8th has Manchester United on 15 points, who play Manchester City next week. And West Ham United also on 14 points in 9th place. Chelsea completes the top 10 on 12 points after 9 games. They have shared it equally. They've played 9 games, won 3, drawn 3, lost 3. And that's Chelsea's fate in the English Premier League this season. Let's move on and head into the debate. Now, today's debate has Messi or Haaland. Who deserves the Ballon d'Or? And Joel, who are you going for? I mean, today's debate. Let me choose our debaters for today. I think today Oreku has to be a spectator for the debate. Oreku joined the judges for today. So Joel and Bill.
Wait, who mafiaed me the last time?
It was Joel. So Joel and Bill, the two of you are going to battle it out today on the debate. Who deserves the Ballon d'Or? Who are you going for, Bill?
I'll go for
Leo Messi. So it means, Botte, that leaves you with Haaland. So you have to argue for Haaland.
No problem.
And Bill, you have to argue for Messi. And so, how do you call it? Judges, Kelvin and Oreku, are you ready? Okay. So, who will start? Let me see. Do I have a coin so that we can do a toss? Because
let Bill just start. I mean, say Messi, so you do it.
Anyway, Bill. So your time. Who's keeping the time for me?
Okay, right. You are keeping the time off. You want me to do it?
So someone should keep the time for me. Let's go through the debates quickly before the show ends. How many minutes? Oh, just a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, just 1 minute. Yeah. So, Bill, your time starts now. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm going to start from Pep's statement, stating that Lionel Messi needs a different category for the Ballon d'Or because he thinks even Messi's supposedly bad season is like all the other players' good season, especially Haaland, for example. Now, looking at what Messi has done, I mean, apart from winning the World Cup last year with Argentina, going into Inter Miami, a team that was on the bottom of their league in the MLS, taking them to titles, winning games back to back, instilling confidence in that kind of team with even his playmaking, not just the scoring, because he was scoring goals, but he got everyone clicking. A team that wasn't doing well at all. And you could see when he was even away on injury that the team weren't really performing when he's there. I mean, Erling Haaland is a proper goal scorer, but when he's not there, people can score. Alvarez can score. Other people in the
time. Your time has ended, Bill. Thank you so much. Let's move. Joe Botte, your time starts now.
Look, Bill has tried to argue this out, but let's be real. Last season, when you speak of players in Europe that came with force and were able to be the turning spots for their clubs, that's something Haaland did. Players like Haaland don't come often. We've all agreed to that. And if you look at the player of his age, 23, what has he done for Man City? You look at when they came into when Pep came into Man City, they've not been able to win the Champions League for how many seasons now? He comes in and he's immediately that spark that gets them into winning it. Let me even bring this out. So Haaland set a new record for the most goals in a single Premier League season, hitting 36 and 35 appearances. He also scored 12 goals in 11 Champions League games. And if we remember very well, despite him not getting a goal in the final, he was so instrumental in the entire process of getting them into that one particular thing that they've been looking for. And for a club, an English club that has cherished that thing for so long, I think it's very important to put emphasis on Haaland, because you know that once he gets you in that moment, it's
time
to get you there. He's one of the best.
Time. Anyway, first of all, the two of you, -5 each. You didn't greet. Yeah. You didn't greet you didn't greet
forget.
Accurate timekeeper.
Oh,
the chairman of the debate. You didn't greet.
Oh, Charlie.
-5.
Charlie.
Before we start.
Oh, Charlie.
-5. Now, let me consult my judges now. Kelvin, let me start with you. What do you think of the two statements that have been placed on the table?
Yeah, they did not even address the audience, so they have 5 remaining points. So minus two. At least you were 3.
but you gentlemen. And so, if we are looking at what I was expecting, first of all, you have to define what the requirements for a Ballon d'Or winner is.
Madam Elsie.
Because in the past 2 years, they've changed the requirements. Because I know that you have to mention the impact on the team.
Yes.
You have to mention the achievement.
Yeah.
You have to mention some of the records.
Yeah.
And I just didn't see that.
Yes.
I think Joe mentioned the Premier League top scorer.
And so
I think I'll give him 1 point for that.
And so Prepper colleagues, 1/10.
But also my gentleman here, he just thought he's with Messi, so he can just say, "You are the star." but on a more serious note, I think for Bill, he could have highlighted more what the importance of winning the World Cup is, because that's Messi's key point. He spent too much time talking about Inter Miami. I don't think Inter Miami crowd will be considered.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Honestly, if you win the Ballon d'Or, it's because of what he did in the World Up.
Yeah.
So maybe you should have mentioned his impact, what it meant to him, what it meant to Argentina.
So the reason why I didn't mention the World Cup,
you can't explain.
The time code, I have no evidence.
1
Starting
minute.
from the day after he won the World Cup.
No. That's FIFA best. We are talking about Ballon d'Or.
Ballon d'Or.
Okay.
Yeah, Ballon d'Or.
right.
Because I thought Ballon d'Or, you can go back, set a premise, all the World Cup years, how that influenced the importance of the World Cup, and how it usually trumps, club side. Because you need to hit Haaland. Haaland has been good for club side, but it's all about.
But he can't qualify for.
Those things.
No,
the Norway, what he can. Yeah, those. That's that. And for George, I think he didn't even mention the fact that City won the treble.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that was the last thing I was supposed to end with.
No, that's your strongest point.
No. It's your strongest
That's
point.
your strongest
It's
point. The strongest point is that
the treble.
you won the treble and you finished as top scorer in 2 of them.
Thank you.
In the whole of Europe, nobody scored more than him.
So in the end, I'll give Joel 1.5. I'll give Bill 1.
1.
Yeah.
1.5 over 10.
Yes.
Over 10.
Problem of the day.
And Bill 1 over 10.
And Bill 1 over 10. Oric, what's your score?
I think I'll go similar. I'll go similar. It was tight.
It was tight, eh?
Yeah, tight in the sense that this one is Ghana Premier League tight. But I think Joe edges it slightly.
Joe edges it slightly.
Yeah.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, but Joe has won 2 debates on this show.
Yeah.
Hey,
Allah presek.
Anyway, and so Joe has won the debate again. He debated for Haaland, and that Haaland has to win the Ballon d'Or. I mean, that's for Joe. And Bill had Messi, and he couldn't do that. Kelvin, can you please open Facebook and let's read a few comments before?
All right, okay, sure.
Before we go, and so just send us your comments. Who do you think should win the Ballon d'Or? Is it Messi or is it Haaland? I know the Messi fans are ever vociferous about their man. Haaland doesn't have any fans, and so he's just there. He did his thing, but he still has to do a lot more to garner a bit more fans across the world. But that's really what's happening at the moment. Let me just take you through some of the games that were played earlier today, and let's go. Okay, on Saturday, Real Madrid drew 1-1 with Sevilla, and Atletico Madrid also beating Celta de Vigo by 3-0. Napoli beat Verona by 3-1, and Kvaratskhelia on the score sheet, as well as Matteo Politano also on the score sheet in there for Napoli. And then Torino also lost to Inter by 3-0. Lautaro Martinez back on the score sheet heavily for Inter Milan. And then there's also Sassuolo, who lost to Lazio by 2-0 in there as well. Let me just check what's happening in the Bundesliga for you. Bayern Munich also beats Mainz by 3-1, and that's also a really good one there for Bayern Munich in their game as well. Let's move on to today's fixtures there across the world, and Barcelona are taking on Athletic Club at the moment. It's still 0-0 in their 29 minutes in that game. Roma beat Monza by 1-0. The game that my very good friend Fentu Tahiri went to watch. And Atalanta also beat Genoa by 2-0. It is still the first half of the AC Milan-Juventus game, and it's still 0-0 in that game. Kelvin, take us through some of the comments on Facebook.
Some of the comments, and this is coming from Godwin Mafo. Referees are the main problem of the Ghana Premier League. Even those who never attended any referee course won't take such shameful decisions, but the fans need to calm down on some of these things. There's a message coming in from that is Noah Hafiz. I'm blaming Chelsea goalkeeper for yesterday's draw. Then there's a message from is it Takida Kopa? It says watching live from Mombasa, Kenya. Nana Kelvin says, I think it's Haaland. If Messi wins, meaning the organizers of the Ballon d'Or were not fair to Wesley Schneider. Nothing has been fair on this planet, so just so you know. So that is it there. But before we go, I think we should if you are listening to us, yes, the 12th edition of Mentor is coming on. So Mentor 12 is on this evening. The lunch is this evening at 8 p.m. on TV3, the Studio B. So right after the news, just logged
enjoy some Mentor.
Enjoy some very fine music. Not like Oriko's voice.
And Bill is really good with singing.
We should have. Why didn't you consider?
We should have considered Bill. Why? Bill, can you give us an acapella to close us today? Give us something.
Ryan is a fraud.
Mr. Drew.
Ryan is a fraud.
Anyway, thank you guys. This is another show that we brought you, Sports Ultras, right here on 3FM 92.7. We'll see you again next week with another exciting edition of the show. Stay with us on 3FM and also keep your television remotes also on TV3 and enjoy all our programs. We'll see you later.